See, the home of God is among mortals. He will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. Death will be no more. Mourning and crying and pain will be no more, for the first things have passed away. And the one who was seated on the throne said, "See, I am making all things new."
For me, it was a mystical experience when I was a child, probably around the age of 9 or 10. I was walking, I grew up on a farm in Nebraska, and I was walking between the house and the barn, and there was lightning, and I looked up, and there was just, and then it's hard to describe because it was just a real distinctive calling to ministry, meaning like, there's a purpose and I want you to do this. Well, I didn't tell anybody about it. I'd never seen a woman pastor before at that point. And I grew up in a UCC church out in the country, and I always thought the rituals were interesting, like baptism and stuff, so I'd always baptize all the cats in the barn and stuff like that. And so I was always interested in religion, and especially rituals, and I ended up doing my doctorate on rituals then too, so I guess that never did go away. After that first calling when I was a kid, then I was a high school teacher and I loved it, and I was asleep one night, and then I don't know what it was that woke me up, but as soon as I woke up, and this is going to sound crazy to any, and I don't even know if I'd believe it if somebody told me it, but it happened to me. So there was an angel standing in my room, and it was really scary. And it was just a reminder again that I was supposed to be a pastor. Yeah, it's been a long journey, but I'm just from a Nebraska farmhouse type of lifestyle where the things that I ended up doing were unheard of. I mean, my dad said he thought I would marry a farmer and live a couple houses down the road from them when I grew up. So, but I've lived all over the place and now back in Nebraska, thankfully though, because I like being close to them. But it wasn't an easy road, and sometimes I feel like I've not been understood, you know, especially when it's not popular, when you're doing, like right now there's gay rights, but there wasn't, and it was unpopular to talk about it, and I've had people leave churches because of my stance, but the majority of the people still stay because they know that that's really what's right. But it is always hard on me when somebody leaves the church because of either gay rights or women's rights, or, you know, sometimes people don't like me from the very first day I start because they don't want a woman pastor. The first GLBT parade I was in Birmingham, Alabama, because that's where I had my first church, and that's the Bible Belt, so women pastors, that was like, and then gay, oh my gosh. And back then they thought that the AIDS epidemic was God's punishment for gay people. I mean, it's hard to even believe that I've lived through that history. It's weird, but they had a gay parade in Birmingham, Alabama, and I was the only minister in it, the only one. And I always wear a robe for worship because when I first started out, I'll show you pictures, I just looked like a teenage girl, you know, so the robe always gave me a little bit more of that authority that I needed, you know, because my education was behind me, but I wanted to, so I wore that robe to kind of like vest myself and armor myself and my education and my past and my friends and my professors that were all behind me, you know, pulling for me, so. But it is weird when you first walk up to a rally, or they'll start cheering, like for the GLBTQ rallies, when I'd walk toward them, they'd all start cheering. They were so happy to have you there. But being a minister and then being a woman minister is really, you are always a woman minister. You're not ever just a minister.